This is Oliver. Come on, let's go. You have grass hanging out of your mouth. Yeah, there are no treats, just Mom. Hey, welcome back to Sweet Bear Rescue Farm. We are a nonprofit animal sanctuary located in Flat Rock, North Carolina. We are just under 4 acres and currently care for about 50 animals. We have dogs, cats, pigs, chickens, goats, and pigs like this guy. Yeah, so this turkey is Nelson. Hi, Nelson. We actually are gonna jailbreak some of the birds right now. So in the morning, when everyone eats, they're kept separately because these white chickens are rescued from the meat industry and they are bred to just eat and grow and eat and grow. The chicken that people buy in stores and restaurants is actually a 42-day-old baby chick. It's like a Frankenstein machine. It's just this genetically modified and mutated animal that will reach 13, 14 pounds at 42 days old. So when we feed them in the morning, we separate them because these guys are on a very controlled diet, whereas the backyard chickens can kind of free feed. So they're in an aviary right now, the backyards, and so we're gonna jailbreak them. And then everybody gets to hang out together. Hi, guys. You ready to come out? Ta-da! So now these guys are gonna go and check to see if there's any food left that maybe the backyards missed. And this turkey is Georgie. You come in? Say hi, buddy. So George was rescued from something called the Yellville turkey drop 3 years ago. The Atlantic did a story on him that you can find by Googling the Atlantic Yellville, and you can see kind of what George has been through. The first thing he does when we let him out of the aviary is go visit his best friend Nelson. So you can see they're saying hi to each other, which is very cute. They're best friends, so they need to catch up on all the gossip. So this is Benjamin. This is one of our 2 pigs. Do you want to come out? He probably is ready for some mud. This kid loves his mud. Yup. I'm not sure how much people know about pigs and mud and why they actually kind of like to roll in it. But there's 3 major reasons. One, they have skin almost identical to ours, so they can burn pretty easily. So the mud is a great protection from burning their skin. The one main difference is they don't have sweat glands, so the mud also keeps them cool. And then the final thing is it keeps off bugs, so parasites, mites, things like that. This kid, he loves his mud. But first he's gonna check for food. So this is Shadow. Hi, babe. This is one of 2 goats that live here. Shadow is a Toggenburg goat, and so she's a Swiss goat, and the funny thing about her this time of year is she's just losing her winter coat, which is this really kind of fluffy tan color. And you can see her summer coat, look at, she loves attention, is actually this really like chocolatey brown color. So this is all gonna come off. Huh. We need some volunteers to come over and give you some brushes. She loves attention. This is her like zenned out face. Huh, baby? How's that? Does that feel better? Huh? Want somebody else to pet you? She's too much. Hi. She also loves to have between her toes scratched. This is like her favorite thing. She's always done this since she was a little baby. So I've known this goat since she was 10 days old. What's that? It's a good spot? Huh? Yeah, she's super sweet. Huh, where's your sister? This is Maggie. So where Shadow is a Swiss goat with this really kind of thick coat from the winter, Maggie is an African goat called a Nubian. So she's got a much shorter kind of like very glamorous coat. She doesn't get quite as fluffy as this one. Hi, Mags. Good. That's Nelson. Who's the handsomest guy? Huh, sometimes these bulbous things, they just kind of break off. Look at this thing. He's got like this weird lobe coming off of him. It'll probably fall off at some point, but it's very decorative. It looks like he's got one earring going, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Hi, buddy. He is a big fluff bomb. He actually loves to swim. So what a lot of people don't realize, this turkey, he looks really big right now. He's only 22 pounds. He's actually a breed called a midget white. They puff up by expanding their feathers, but they also have almost like a bladder pack in their chest that fills up with air, which makes them naturally great swimmers, which I didn't realize. He loves people, and so sometimes when we have days by the pool, he'll come out with us just because it makes him happy to be around people. And one day he just jumped in the deep end and just started swimming around. Huh? You like that when it's hot? Yeah. So he's an awesome swimmer and very affectionate. Hi, bud. And he knows there's a camera on him right now, so he's like, it's my moment. He loves his mud. I wasn't kidding. He loves it. Yeah, he usually does that on me. So when I go out, there's usually just like this part of my leg is just covered in mud. Okay, so the newest member of the family is a baby chick whose name is Starfish, and she is adorable. She's kind of too small to be with the rest of the flock right now, but we do have this separate aviary. So she's been spending her days outside where she can kind of acclimate and have grass under her feet and see other chickens and get used to not being like my parasitic twin, because she's very clingy with me right now. So we're gonna grab her and I'll introduce you. When she gets a little bit bigger, she'll probably move with Nelson, the white turkey. He's very maternal. Even before he lived here, his former caregiver would get baby chicks and then he would just kind of like raise them. So that white chicken that's with him right now is the only Cornish cross that lives in that pasture, but he raised her last year, so they're buddies. So those two do everything together. So even on the days where I was saying Nelson really likes to be out by the pool, Evie comes with because they're like a package deal. That's his chicken. They sleep together, they cuddle up, it's adorable. So this little Starfish babe, she's gonna do the same thing. So when she gets a little bit bigger and can live outside, she's gonna move in with those guys. This is little Hannah. I have no idea what she's talking about. Uh-huh. You looking for someplace to lay an egg? What is it? Is that my little buddy? I gotcha. So this is little Starfish. She's so cute. Huh? What was that face? She thinks she's like a parrot, so she'll just sit up here. She'll probably poop on me because we're on camera. But yeah, she's a very, very, very social little baby bird. So as much as I love having her in the house with me, I really want her to have a life like a regular chicken. So she's just getting used to the outside world right now. Huh. But she's also a mama's girl. She tries to get in my mouth sometimes. It's a little weird. You cute kid? Huh? Huh? Hi. She was found on the side of the road, which happens a lot. People buy chickens from like Tractor Supply, baby chicks, from flea markets, etc., and they often don't take very good care of them, buy them for their kids, leave them outside, and these chicks go wandering, and then I just randomly get calls sometimes from people that say, hey, I found this little chick on the side of the road. I think this is about the 4th time that it's happened to me. And so she's this year's newest resident, aren't you? It's very hard for me to say no to a chicken. I love them so much. And she's really beautiful, isn't she? She's in her like awkward teen years where she's got the wings of a chicken, but the like head of a baby chick. She's like a little tween right now. Huh. Huh. She's gonna be a beautiful bird. Aren't you? You're so cute. She has these really cool markings on the top of her head. And she has them on her back too. See that? Huh. You good girl? You gonna learn to hang out with chickens? Sooner or later? But she sleeps in the house, so. Huh. You have your own room? Yeah. Told you she's a little clingy with me. She's so cute. You're so cute and so sweet. I'm amazed she hasn't pooped on me. Good job, kid. In addition to little baby Starfish, the baby chick that we adopted about a month ago, Chloe here also just joined the family, and what I thought was going to be a pretty simple foster situation turned out to be kind of the most intense, wild roller coaster of a rescue I've ever done. So I got a call about a month ago from someone. It was actually a message that somebody sent me on Facebook saying, hey, this cat kind of adopted my family. She showed up at the door one day and she's very sweet, so we let her in and started taking care of her. And it turned out she was pregnant, and our family has a vacation coming up, and so we don't want to leave this pregnant cat. So do you think you could take care of her? So I said, sure. Do you think you would be able to help out by doing maybe a fundraiser, because her and the kittens will have to get fixed after she has her babies? Maybe help with some volunteer work. And this person said, absolutely, more than happy to do it. My daughter would love to volunteer. We'll support you any way we can. So we agreed, this was probably on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, that Chloe would come and live with me on that Monday. And that Sunday before she got here, she went into labor. And she had one kitten pretty early in the morning at like 10, and then the labor stopped. So an hour went by, and I'm just texting with this person back and forth. An hour went by, and then another hour went by, and I started getting really nervous and said, look, if she doesn't have any amniotic fluid, this baby could, if there are more kittens, and there very likely are more than one, these kittens could die inside of her, which makes things very, very high risk. So please take her to the vet. So they took Chloe to the emergency vet about 2.5 hours after she gave birth to her first kitten. And they did a radiograph and saw 2 more kittens inside of her. And they said, it seems to be just a prolonged labor. So she's not in distress. The kittens seem healthy. They have a good heartbeat, etc. So she came home to me. And that Monday, I talked to my vet, who's back in her regular hours. And my vet thought, yeah, this still seems pretty risky. I think we should induce. So I had Chloe and this tiny baby kitten. And when I say tiny, it looked like a worm with legs. It was the smallest kitten I've ever seen. It was literally like maybe this big. So my doctor came over and we sat on the floor with Chloe and we induced labor, and she had a little bit of discharge and she was kind of pacing around this room. I had her in a spare bedroom. And she was really kind of like latched onto me. And so we induced, and she just didn't go into labor. She just didn't have the other 2 kittens. So I was at that point staying in touch with the family that originally had her, and she went back to the hospital 2 days later for another radiograph, and kittens still had super strong heartbeats, and they seemed to be fine. She just wasn't going into labor. So 12 days went by, and I woke up and went to check on Chloe, and she had a kitten at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then the labor stopped again. So now we're talking about a cat who in a span of 12 days has been in labor twice and given birth twice. And in the interim, that Monday when she got here, her first kitten actually died. It was premature. And I think it just wasn't viable. And so her body probably just expelled that kitten to save her life and the life of her remaining kittens. So I buried that baby alone. I asked the family what they wanted to name her. And they said Violet, and so I buried her outside next to another neonatal kitten that I had lost last year. And so anyway, so Chloe went into labor that morning, and she had her baby, and then 13 hours went by before she had her second baby. So now we're talking, and we actually induced again, and she didn't go into labor again. So at 11 o'clock that night, she gave birth to her third kitten, and she was so exhausted at that point, she started cleaning the kitten, and then she just kind of gave up. So I actually cut the cord, and I got that baby to latch. And so both of these kittens were latched, and they were feeding, and everybody was kind of relaxed. And I was just like, thank God, you know, she has no more kittens inside of her. And hopefully this family will be fine. And she seemed to be doing great. She was really bonding with them. I stayed in isolation with her on and off for most of like these 12 days. So she just really this whole time didn't want me to leave her side. And I have close to 50 animals here. So I was like coming out and getting food ready, and then going back and spending an hour with Chloe, and then leaving for 15 minutes and feeding someone, and then coming back and spending time with Chloe. Because when I left the room, she would just kind of like cry and then wait at the door for me. And she was just like, I think her life had just been so crazy up until that point with no stability. Yeah, she gets mad sometimes with the dogs. That she just really wanted to be with me. So she had her two babies at home, and she was doing a great job taking care of them. And 2 days later, she started becoming kind of lethargic. And I felt her head, and it seemed really warm. And I let a couple hours go by, and I went to check on her, and she was still discharging a little bit of fluid. And she just got up and walked away from her babies and laid on the bed, and I knew something was wrong. And so again, I had to call an emergency vet, and they said, this doesn't seem good. Bring her in and her kittens as soon as possible. And so I packed her up, and she, at this point, was just like a rag doll. Like, she wasn't even fighting me getting into the carrier. And this is a mama cat with 2-day-old baby kittens. So by the time we got her to the hospital, she had a fever of 106. Did some triage and rushed her in to see what was going on. And it turned out she had an infected uterus, and it could have killed her. So they couldn't perform surgery. And this was on a Sunday, so she had given birth on a Friday. They couldn't perform surgery until her fever went down, so she was on fluids, she was on an IV, she was getting fever reducers, antibiotics, the whole bit, and finally her fever broke, and Monday morning she had surgery to have her entire uterus removed. And so while I was talking to the hospital, I asked, you know, when I would be able to reunite her with her kittens, and they said, no, she's having her uterus completely removed. She'll never be able to nurse her kittens. So at this point, I had 2-day-old baby kittens, and I was just devastated because what was supposed to be this really simple rescue where this mama cat would have her babies and it would be sweet and adorable and she would take care of them and then I would adopt them out, just turned into like tragedy after tragedy. And people did start donating, which was lovely. I wasn't hearing pretty much anything from the original family at this point that was, you know, going to do a fundraiser and volunteer, etc. But an organization called Esther Neonatal Kitten Alliance saw a post and said, we'll take those babies. And so at 2 days old, I dropped them off. One of the kittens was half the size of the other one. Actually, the second one to be born, her name is Monkey because she looks like a little monkey. She's so cute, but she's just like really small and has super long kind of like arms and a long tail and these like long little fingers. And so they have been in neonatal care while Chloe's been recovering, and they need to stay there for 6 weeks until they're fully weaned. So if it wasn't for Esther Neonatal Kitten Alliance, the kittens probably wouldn't have survived. They need to be fed every 2 hours at this point, and me with, you know, 50 animals here, it would have been next to impossible to do, plus taking care of Chloe. So right now the story is a success and has a very happy ending. Chloe's doing great. Her babies, one is not developing as well as the other, so it's a little bit of a high-risk situation currently, but we're pulling for her, and we're actually going to go to Esther and meet the founder and the primary caregiver of Monkey and Pumpkin, nicknamed Monkey and Punky at this point, and talk about how she started the Kitten Alliance and how you can help them out. So it's an amazing organization. And if they both live and we manage to save 3 of these 4 cats, it's honestly going to be a miracle. So that's Chloe's story. This poor cat. I mean, could you imagine? I was saying before, I always take videos when I go visit the kittens. I went to see them yesterday. And when I come home to post them, they play for a second and Chloe can hear them cry. She's a brave cat. She's been through a lot. So, needless to say, Chloe's staying here. She's part of this family forever. That wasn't the plan, but she loves me and I love her. And she's one of the bravest people I know. And she's been through so much. It's unimaginable. Okay. Told you it was a bonkers story. Can you believe that? I mean, this cat went into labor and gave birth 3 times in 2 weeks. And then had her uterus removed and nearly died, and then had her kittens taken away from her. So she beats up the dogs and I let her do it. I mean, I can't wrap my head around what this experience has been like for her. I love you, kid. Huh. I'm gonna go visit your babes. I'd like to take her to see her babies, but I don't know if it would be good for her or just traumatizing for all 3 of them, so. Yeah, you get so mad at dogs. Okay, I'm gonna try to get my shit together.
All right. Good job.
At least I saved it till the end. All right, we're gonna go meet Monkey and Pumpkin. So this is Esther Neonatal Kitten Alliance, who is responsible for taking care of our babies. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. This is Jeff and Sarah.
Hi.
So, babies.
Yeah.
I was just telling them how little Monkey, we were so worried about her yesterday. Look here. Monkey Punky. Look. This is Pumpkin. Say, I'm a teenager. Huh? And then this is the world's littlest monkey. She looks just like a little monkey. Baby, you getting so big overnight? Huh? Huh? Do you have a good day of good eating yesterday? You take cues from your bro? Huh? From your teenager twin brother? They're like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito and twins. Oh, say hi. Hi, look at how wide-eyed Pumpkin is. And then look at Monkey. She's like, what in the world is even happening? Hi, babies. 2 days in a row. Did he just eat?
They just ate about half an hour ago.
He is thick
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Your belly is so big. Yes.
I might poop on you.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. Hi. Where are you going? You got a hot date later? You borrowing the car? Huh? He's such a grown-up. He's such a big man. Look at him. So Andy is the mom. She's the mother of kittens, and the reason these two are alive. I don't know what we would do without her. I just told the whole story with Chloe and finished and sobbed like a baby. Because it's just so much. You three have been through so much. And I know your mama misses you. Also, look at how Pumpkin looks exactly like his stuffy. Huh? See, this is my incubator mama. Yeah.
Warm spot.
Yeah.
Spot.
He's gonna come out. He's got stuff to do. And then, have you ever seen a kitten that looks more like a monkey in your life? Yeah, monks. Yeah, look at her, the back of her head. She's a monkey. Perfect little girl. I'm so proud of you. I was so worried about you yesterday. This girl gained 14 grams overnight. Look at you. You are going to go poo-poos, maybe. Maybe. I love when they do that angry meow. That like, they do it when they have to poop a lot. Yeah, that's a very angry little meow. Her eyes just opened a few days ago. She honestly looks better than she did yesterday.
Does. Yeah.
Her face is filled out a little bit.
Okay, let's get you some food.
Big
There you
stretch.
go.
Big stretch.
That's all you wanted? You want more? There you go. There you go. Good boy.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy.
He's like, I got a tiny bit of space in the gas tank. Fill it up.
You want more? That's all you want? Okay. Okay, that's good.
Okay. It's too much, buddy.
He's like, I want it. I have no more room.
Seriously, he's like a giant pear right now. Hey y'all, so we just left Sweet Bear Rescue and you got to meet Chloe and hear her story, and we are now at Esther Neonatal Kitten Alliance with the babies we told you all about. So this is Little Monkey, Chloe's baby, and this over here is not so little Pumpkin. It's crazy to believe that these two are twins because Pumpkin is very, very large and Monkey is still a little monkey, but they're both doing great. And the reason they're doing great is Andy Bingham, who is the founder and director, caregiver, supermom, all things here at Esther. So Andy, do you want to tell us where you got your experience in kitten care and why you decided to start what must be one of the most difficult jobs in the world?
Yeah, so I've been working with bottle baby kittens for about 6 years. I got my start at a rescue that I worked at in New York. I only did bottle babies a few times up there because the need isn't so great in the Northeast. But when I moved to Asheville, it was just orphaned newborn kittens everywhere. So I started this organization because there's so many other really fantastic rescue organizations in our region. But even the organizations who have the best funding and great staff and really fantastic programs often still struggle to find the resources and time and skills to take care of neonates. So I started this organization to support other rescues and make sure that these tiny, tiny, fragile creatures who need just a very high level of skills and time and resources have what they need to get the best chance to survive.
So where does the name come from and what is a typical day for you? I know you had mentioned that you haven't slept for more than 2 hours in probably 3 years now. Right. And I think people might think that's an exaggeration, and it is not. I've done neonatal care and you know, even in the very best hands, there's a high risk of them not making it. Yes. So in addition to the physical toll, the emotional devastation that goes along with it takes a very certain kind of person. So
yeah, so we named the organization after a kitten named Esther. She was one of the first kittens that I cared for when I moved down south. Esther had a lot of health challenges, and I ended up partnering with another foster parent who was more experienced than me at the time to make sure that Esther got everything she needed. So when we were building this organization that was really based around partnership and learning everything that you can, and just, you know, really putting in all of the effort needed to just really go above and beyond for these kittens, this one particular kitten, Esther, just really embodied everything that we want this organization to be about. So we named the organization after her. As far as a typical day, I mean, it's really whatever we go in thinking the day is going to be like is never what is reality. Just emergency situations popping up. You know, just today we took in a kitten who was, you know, covered head to toe in thousands of fly eggs. And, you know, this morning I didn't know that kitten existed, and now she's in our care and luckily doing great. But those types of emergencies happen all the time, and it's just kind of a matter of trying to create a system where we have minimal emergencies, so the things that truly are emergencies are, you know, able to be dealt with. But yeah, typical day, you know, every 2 or 3 hours, depending on the kittens we have in care, I'm stopping what I'm doing and bottle feeding these kittens, sometimes syringe feeding them, tube feeding them, whatever they need to thrive. We have some older kittens in our care. We keep them in our care until they're fully weaned, somewhere around 6 or 7 weeks. Then we transfer them out to partner rescues. That keeps our resources dedicated to the very, very tiny ones to not have to hold them until they're ready for adoption. But we have some pregnant nursing moms in our care, and, you know, every day is a bit of a mystery.
Yes, that sounds familiar as someone that cares for close to 50 animals. And I love that you named your rescue after a kitten. Mine, Sweet Bear Rescue, is actually named after my dog, Nala, who I always called Bear. And I knew if I rescued animals that I would incorporate Bear into the title. So I think that's a really lovely tribute. So where are you located? How can people find you? But much more importantly, how can people help in terms of donating items, donating funds, volunteering? What kind of help do you need?
Yep, so we are located at 21 Pond Street in Arden. That's pond like the small body of water, Arden, North Carolina.
Which is right outside of Asheville, south of Asheville.
Yeah, right south of Asheville. It costs us about $150 to raise one kitten from birth to weaning. So at this point in the year, we've already taken in 277 kittens.
Wow.
So, you know, monetary donations are always the best, because then we can, you know, use them in whatever way we need. We also love donations of kitten food, non-clumping litter, fleece blankets. All that can be dropped off at our nursery. We have a wish list that you can find on our website, and you can also make donations through our website. We're always also looking for volunteers to come volunteer at our nursery, and looking for fosters who would like to take some of our kittens into their home and provide care for kittens in their home.
So what are the best ways to find you to donate funds? Let's talk money.
Yeah. So the best way would be to either stop by our nursery at 21 Pond Street in Arden, or to do it through our website. We have a donate button on our website.
And the website is?
kittenalliance.org.
Okay, and that is your Instagram handle as well as Kitten Alliance?
Kitten Alliance is where you can find us on Instagram and on Facebook.
Okay, awesome. So I was saying earlier when I talked about Chloe that I had just been posting updates of what was going on with her, and you literally offered to take these guys in. So it's not like I had to hunt you down. So considering that you have taken in hundreds of kittens already, and you offered, and you really are the reason these two are alive, I just feel like I will forever be in your debt and grateful to you, because Chloe's story is unimaginable. Yeah. And like I said earlier, I just even talking about it makes me tear up, because I just can't imagine a sentient, loving being going through what she's been through in the span of a month and coming out of it still being a really loving and trusting soul. Yeah. But she does miss these babies, and they will be reunited. They've been here for almost 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks on Sunday. And they will be here for about 6, and then they're going to come back home with me, where they will be neutered and spayed. Mom doesn't have a uterus anymore, so that problem has been taken care of. And then the babies will probably be adopted out as a team, but I haven't really quite decided. It's really important to me that they stay in my life, just because this experience has been hopefully one in a lifetime for me. I mean, what's regular for you, for me, has just been this really dramatic rescue. So if you want to donate to Sweet Bear, you can use PayPal Me Kindness Empire or Venmo Kindness Empire. That's the overarching nonprofit. So we do more than just kind of animal rescue at our sanctuary. We advocate for all living beings, human and non-human. So that's how you can help us out. But really, right now, any way you can support Andy and what she's doing would be awesome. And you can come and visit, and it's a really magical place. And look, monkey.
And monkey.
You two did so good. Huh? You were biting me. Yeah, she's hungry.
Yeah.
Do you want to swap them out?
Yeah, let's see if she wants some more.
I think she does.
You already got another.
She got tiny little teeth and she's biting.
We already got another drink, but you can have as much as you want because you're so tiny. One more? Oh, there you go.
It's so much better. Yesterday she wouldn't, yeah, she wasn't latching, and now she's like, oh yeah, you do the little making biscuits even.
Yeah, we're gonna do that that thing we gave them yesterday that seemed to perk her up. I'm gonna do that for 3 whole days.
The sub-Q fluids and the B12.
Fluids, the B12 and the antibiotics, and just do it for 3 days and try to knock out whatever it is that's going on. Get you nice and fat.
She was eating, she just wasn't putting any weight on. So for a kitten of this size, that, you know, could lead to a downhill turn very, very, very quickly. So she is tough like her mama, that's for sure. Oh, look at you. Also, it helps when you have baby kittens.
More? You want more? You can have all the meals you want, kid.
Yeah, she's like, yesterday was rough. I'm starving. Chloe ate the entire time. Chloe eats so much. But again, major surgery, triple childbirth, you know.
Yeah.
Hi. Your mama is so strong. Your mama is so strong. Look at this. Okay, I can't even handle your perfect little face right now. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Behold, pumpkin. Yes. Oh. Oh.
I know you're searching for it, but I keep giving it to you when you don't want it. Do you want any more? No?
What are you doing with those arms? You pretending you're eating right now? He's such a good boy. I can't wait to reunite you with your mama.
Go babies.
You're beautiful. Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
It's just insane how cute they are, isn't it? And so strong. I mean, 2 days old without their mom. They're like tiny little miracles. They really are. And Andy keeps saying like, oh, these two are so great because they're healthy. And I'm like, 2 days old.
My typical night, like I take home all the ones who are like near death, and you know, like our foster base isn't quite trained to the level of being able to tube feed and all that crazy stuff. So, you know, like the typical kittens that I bring home are just really on death's doorstep, and it's just like a constant struggle to try to get them to live. And so for me, having several kittens who are eating really well and are fat, and are, you know, making decent poops, like that's great. Like I don't mind waking up every few hours, but waking up and tube feeding and doing all this like excessive stuff at 3 in the morning is a bit much. So
yeah,
always happy to have some. good, relatively healthy ones.
You two are just a joy. That actually, do you offer classes? Do you want to talk about anything else?
Oh yeah, we are doing 2 live webinars every month through most of the season, I think through October, November, and they're live Bottle Baby Kitten Care 101 webinars. Everything you need to know to take care of newborn kittens like this from birth to weaning. And there's a chance for you to ask questions and everything like that. We are going to be attempting for the rest of the season to create kind of a in-person webinar hybrid. So now that it's safer for people to get together, we're going to try to do some in-person classes at the same time. You can learn more about those on our website at kittenalliance.org or through Facebook. We'll be announcing them once we have the live webinar hybrid thing.
Awesome. And you are a 501c3, I take it. And one more thing, you have mentioned season a couple of times. I'm assuming you mean kitten season, but for those who don't know what kitten season is, can you explain that?
Right, yeah. So there's a pretty distinct season. Down south, the season lasts for a pretty long time. Generally, we start seeing kittens sometime by mid-March, and then we get kittens until it starts getting significantly cold, usually around October. And that is because most of these orphan kittens come from outdoor cats. So these are outdoor cats who are roaming around, and cats tend to roam a bit less once it gets cooler. They don't roam so far for food. They don't roam so far to mate. Generally between March and October is the busy kitten season down here.
Just out of curiosity, did Esther Kitty make it?
Unfortunately, Esther had a congenital condition and did pass away.
But her legacy lives on because of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's the same thing as my dog Nala. When I lost her, there was such a gap in my life that I just decided I would save as many animals as I could, and that void will never be filled. And that's what keeps me going. Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah. Is that what you think too?
Monkey's like, yeah, I'm a big deal. I'm a
Yeah,
monkey.
do you have lots to say?
Yeah, I'm a monkey.
You can't possibly be still hungry. You can't possibly still be hungry. Yeah, are you? Do you want some more of this? It's not warm anymore. You don't want the cold milk. You don't want the cold milk. That's not delicious. That's not delicious.
He's just chill as can be. Oh, Pumpkin. Dang, your little sister, is she crazy? He's like, no, we're twins, Mom. You're funny twins. What is this move? What is this move? What is this move?
You want to go back in your warm incubator now?
Hi.
Warm and cozy.
I love that I got to see you guys 2 days in a row. Yes, it's been so great. Look at this kitten, how he came in, and look at Sebastian after he was rescued. These stories are just amazing. Look at Holden. Wow, these are all kittens from 2020 and these beautiful success stories. Like you, no man. Unbelievable. Yeah, Andy's amazing. This is really incredible. Like, I mean, raising neonatals is one of the most difficult things I've ever done. And the one time I did it, I actually lost my kitten. So the fact that she has taken care of these guys from 2 days, it's just so unbelievable. And they're healthy and happy. And he is ready to snooze. You done being on camera? Yeah, big stretch. So funny, that thing with his arm. His mom does that all the time. She looks like she's doing calisthenics. She just stretches out her arms like that. You get that from your mama? You getting shy? Goodness. All right, let's put you back to bed, kid. He's like, no more pictures. It's hard to be this good looking. It's hard to be so famous, little kitty. Come on, kid. Getting so sleepy. This is the sleepiest I've ever seen him.